welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I'm Banjo Ben, your host here on the site that teaches you how to play banjo and mandolin. But this week is Guitar Week. I've got a great student and friend, John, who often requests and gives me ideas for new lessons. And a few weeks ago, he says, you don't have a guitar lesson for Liberty. And it's true, I don't. And this is one that we can encounter quite often at our jams. But even if you don't, I really recommend you trying to learn this arrangement, working on it with me, because we're going to work on a lot of mechanics and technique, especially for our pick hand, regarding pick accuracy, because we're going to be going through all the strings and having to be accurate and clear in doing that, but also jumping around to strings. And so we're going to work on doing that without looking at it. So if you're watching here on the website, you have everything you need as a Gold Pick member. Just scroll down the page. You'll see the rest of the video segments and the jam tracks and the tabs. But if you're watching somewhere else like Facebook or YouTube, you can come over and get all this stuff too, as well as hundreds of other lessons as a Gold Pick member at BanjoBenClark.com. Let's learn Liberty. Liberty is a great old fiddle tune. It follows that typical fiddle tune structure where you have an A part that lasts for 8 measures, and then you'll repeat that, and then you'll go into a B part that has a slightly different progression, different melody. That lasts 8 measures too, and it will repeat that. And this one is traditionally played in the key of D. Most of the fiddle tunes in D that I do on the site for guitar, we do it out of a D position. I do that because I want you to get experience out of that D position, but this one I wanted to change it up a little bit. So we're going to capo. We're going to capo up to the 2nd fret, as you see here. I have my Elliott Elite capo, which I love. And then we're going to play out of a C position. So if you think about that, I have a lesson on capo theory in case you need some of that. But if we played in C position down here, played out of C, it'd be in the key of C. But if we move everything up 2 frets, that's a whole step. So D is 1 whole step above C. So I can play like I'm in the key of C, capo it up 2 frets, and we're actually playing in the key of D. However, on our tab, whenever I list the chord changes there, I'm talking in capo language. What I mean, I'll show it to you here in just a moment. We're going to start out with just an intro that I like to call potatoes. And this is just to establish that tempo and to let other folks know when to come in, right? We're going to kind of do a Doc Watson fiddle type potato here. So just using the first 2 strings, we're going to first beat hammer on, and then we're going to play some shuffle. Then hammer on again. And then measure 5 there, it's the 3rd measure of the line, but it's measure 5. What I want you to try to do is get an even tone and volume going down through the strings and also coming back up through them. That means we're going to have to hold our pick pretty lightly, but also be intentional about going through the strings each direction. So we want to push through with our thumb, pull back through with our index finger. So the whole line sounds like this. And if you do reach up and grab that 3rd string, it's okay, because that's legal in this key of C. You might actually prefer that sound. But as we go into this first A part, I want you to go ahead and get in a C position, or at least hold down that 1st fret on the 2nd string, that C note. And the reason why I want you to do that is just for overtone's sake, because we're going to start out playing the very basic melody using some open strings. And you may not be able to hear it on your guitar, but if you leave that index finger up, what could happen is that 2nd string could ring out. And that 2nd string open, that B note, that doesn't sound good over a C chord. So I like to just go ahead and place down my first finger on that 1st fret. Then I can raise it whenever I have to do this little melodic run. Now we're going into an F position, and here's what I wanted to mention earlier. We're going to an F chord. However, that's capo language. So if I'm playing back up to this, I would start out on a C chord, measure 7. Then I would go up to an actual F chord. Now that's assuming that I am using a capo on the 2nd fret. If I was playing this without a capo, I would have that written as G, because I'd be playing a G chord down here. But now since I capoed up, if I played a G chord, it'd be an A chord, right? So we've got to play an F to get a G sound. And here we don't have to make the complete F shape. You can make a partial line measure 9 if you want, but I actually just fret those 2 strings. So that's the entire first line. It's pretty simple, and I made this to where Most anybody could work on this as a good introduction to flat picking and advancing your basic to intermediate flat picking skills. The whole line. Measure 11, we have some repeating. But now we're going to wrap up this first A part with a little scale lick, starting measure 13. It sounds like this. And then we're wrapping it up. So if you imagine what a fiddle does, dum, dum, dum. Okay. And then we'll climb at the end of measure 14 into another A part that we're going to change up a little bit, because I want to introduce a little bit of variance to you. But this whole line, and then of course remember that we do the whole song slowly later on. If I can do it. Now we're climbing back into a second A part, and it looks the same at first, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to add some eighth notes here in measure 16 where we just had a quarter note before. So it's just going to have more notes. The first one sounds like this. This one sounds like this. Okay, so a few more notes thrown in, a little different order, going into the F. Same thing here, more eighth notes. Okay, so we're just getting a bit more involved, and remember that you don't have to play the second A part. You could go back to measure 7 and just repeat the first A part again. It would sound just fine. But this whole line. Measure 19 will wrap up this second A part. And then as you can see, we're just adding more eighth notes, right? So coming into measure 20, we'll want to get that clean. It's like a cross pick lick, right? So lots of eighth notes here in a row. In the measure 20, we have this ending C lick. And I want you to leave your index finger down to let it ring out throughout the measure. And then also leave your middle finger down, because we'll need it on the last beat of 22, right? As we go into the B part. This whole line. Now we're going to the B part. So if you're watching here on the website, just click the next video lesson down below, or video segment. If you're watching somewhere else, I'd love to have you come on board the site. You'll have the tabs to download, as well as Jamtrack MP3s at different speeds that you can practice along with. But now let's work on this B part, and then we'll learn the ending. We'll play the whole thing through slowly. And then I'll also cover the chord progression for you, so we learn how to play rhythm for this song out of a C position capoed up 2 frets.